Hey YouTube, this is my video review of Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. I just finished reading this book. It took me about 8 months to do, but I can say the second and third part went by much faster than the first. It's probably the most influential novel I've ever read. It's just the themes, the individual liberties, individual rights, the proper role and scope of government, the evils of corporatism, the distinction between corporatism and capitalism, something that a lot of my friends, a lot of people these days don't seem to understand. How any democracy cannot function or shouldn't have to have lobbyists to work. Now, the protagonist in this novel is Dagny Taggart, a railroad executive, vice president of Taggart Transcontinental. And throughout this novel, everyone's noticing the industrious, the entrepreneurs, the producers, CEOs, presidents of copper companies, of automotive companies are leaving. They're disappearing without a trace from society. And she says, there's a destroyer, there's someone doing this and ruining the economy, the balance, the symbiotic relationship of trade. And, I need to find who this is and stop him. I want to shoot him on sight, she said. As it develops, you realize this person is not the destroyer, but he's brilliant. He recognizes what is going on, the way the government is the destroyer. They're the ones that are hampering the growth and development. And he puts a stop to that by taking the productive, the people disdained by the government, by society, by the collective, taking them out of the society and saying, well, see what happens without us. A representation of trade, of giving value for value, how without money, how would men trade? By extortion, by fear. It just gives a totally new way to look at views that society ever since birth have been teaching us, like, oh, money is evil, anything involving money and wealth is just depravity, it's evil. Well, she just dices all that up. I mean, she does criticize conspicuous consumption, and people think that showing wealth means, look what I've accomplished, without actually having accomplished it. Jim Taggart and Cheryl Brooks, that relationship you'll see at I believe it's in part 3. That exemplifies that. It's a long read, but it's definitely worth it. You will realize in your life that it reinforces if you're a conservative, things you already knew. It really shapes how you perceive things, how you recognize things.